Previously we have already talked about the possibility of creating a Power Rangers animated series and the different styles that this series could have. Despite all that we have already talked about, there is one topic that we have not delved into, and that is an adult Power Rangers series. I know that when talking about an adult product many people think of other things, but we are talking about the darker themes of a regular series. Adult series can include more violence, gore, darker drama, and more complex themes than a family series. There are many series and movies aimed at adults that have been very successful or are excellent. Among my favorite adult animated movies are the Mortal Kombat movies, which are just as dark as the video games and arguably darker than the live-action movies. These movies have a lot of violence, blood, terrifying deaths, and the drama, although simple, is always directed towards darkness. Obviously, these are things that characterize Mortal Kombat, and we have never seen this in Power Rangers. Power Rangers has always been a series geared for a child audience, and while it has had a lot of pretty dark villains, even so, it has never been able to show more about that dark side of the series. Obviously, that's because they can't be too scary, because it would scare children and it would no longer be a children's series. This was even the same thing that happened when Lord Zed came to the series, since this character is exclusively from the American series and was never part of the Sentai. Lord Zed started being so dark that many children were scared, and parents started complaining to the production of the series. Because of this, they had to change the character so that he was not so dark and could be suitable for a children's series. This shows us two things. The first is that the series had the potential to become a dark drama since it had the elements to do so, and the second is that Power Rangers could have been a series for adults from the beginning, but it was not the right time to be one. At that time, superhero movies or series were not so well received, and we really don't know if it was that the special effects were insufficient or it was just that the audience was not the right one. We have to remember that generations change. In the 90s it was our parents who watched television and they liked other types of content. As we all grew up, the world was changing, and all these comic book stories started to become more popular. Those who were born in the 90s are now adults, and that's why many like these superhero stories, because they grew up with the comics. In addition to this, there were also the cartoons, which have influenced this generation a lot, and this is why seeing all these characters in live-action movies is so exciting. We must also add that the special effects have improved a lot, and now it is easier to recreate everything that is in the comics. It is for all these reasons that Power Rangers could not possibly be for adults from the beginning, since the audience was not the right one, the technology was not ready, and the success was in the children's audience. Now things have changed, as adults are the ones who ask for superhero series or movies and children only watch YouTube. Possibly this is the reason why Hasbro made the decision to reboot the franchise to turn it into a new universe that is darker and directed towards young adults. One thing that has always worked for Power Rangers is that it has always been a live-action series, because all that action is very entertaining to watch with real people, and it's also awesome to see giant robots. Despite this, that doesn't mean that creating an animated Power Rangers series is going to be boring, but it must have something special, since you would be taking away an important part of the series, because we would no longer see real people. The good thing about animated series is that they have many advantages, and this would help them be able to create that special new part to make the series successful. In my opinion, I think they could create drawings a little more realistic, similar to the drawings we see in the comics, and this would help the series to be more serious. We know that there are very serious series that have quite unrealistic drawings, but because Power Rangers was a children's series, then they should be serious in everything so that people do not continue thinking that it is something for children. We don't know if it is necessary for Power Rangers to be very dark to be more successful, but it would be something totally new and this could work. I think the best example is the comics because there we have very dark stories and all the fans have loved all these stories. In fact, many have already said that they would like to make a series based on the comics, but I think the best thing would be to create an animated series identical to the comics. For example, we have the story Lord Draken, who became one of the best characters in the entire franchise and never appeared in the TV series. If this character had been in an animated series, Power Rangers would be more relevant among all fans of this type of content. Perhaps many people think that animated movies or series are not that relevant, but right now animated movies have started to make a lot of headway. The two best examples are the Spider-Man movies, which have been a great success, and the Ninja Turtles movie, which also had an impressive success. It should be mentioned that the Ninja Turtles have a lot of similarities with Power Rangers, even though both franchises have done a lot of collaborations, and this makes us think a lot. The Ninja Turtles started in the comics, then they had the children's cartoons, and then they started the live-action movies. This franchise has tried to create content for all types of audiences since they have cartoons for children, but their live-action movies are a bit darker and are PG-13. In these movies we could realize that this franchise could be quite dark without losing its essence, and we adults could enjoy it again. This is the same thing that could happen with Power Rangers. They could create different content with different styles for different types of audiences. Many fans have mentioned that they should continue creating the children's series with the same universe that we have seen for 30 years and at the same time create another different universe that is aimed at young adults, but to this we can add that they could also create an animated series that is only for adults. With all this content they would be covering all ages and different types of audiences since the franchise has all the elements to achieve this. The only problem with all these ideas is that a very high budget is needed to create all these universes, and possibly Hasbro does not want to risk so much. The budget problem is something quite big since the entertainment world is still a business, and if there is no money, then you can't create content. We can talk about this budget issue in another video, so write in the comments if you would like us to talk about it, like this video, and subscribe for more Power Rangers content.